So, by the way, it's funny what we were just talking about what happened with you and Wally. I mean, I hate that happened to Wally.
Yeah.
Because it was live.
Yeah, it was brutal.
So yeah, left him hanging. But it's funny because I was just thinking about calling you earlier today and thinking about maybe doing something live. But now I'm totally rethinking that whole thing.
No, I think live would be great on a Thursday night.
Like, I think it'd be fun to do something live and like turn on the chats and let people.
I think it would be awesome, dude. When we do ACL live every Monday, the chat, they're going crazy, and having Wally and people that actually pay attention to it's great.
Yeah,
I have a tendency not to because I'm kind of engrossed in the conversation we're having, and then B, if I see something negative and I react to it, I mean, maybe that is better. Maybe that's a better show. I don't know.
Well, that's what I think. Yeah. I mean, because it's just raw, right? I mean, it's just out there. I mean, you can't take it back.
Right.
It's kind of dangerous.
It's kind of dangerous. Exactly. Because,
especially for you.
I know. I will let things go a little more than you. So that's why it scares me. But I mean, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think people would love it. I mean, we'd have seven people. What we should do is we should do it on location at like a national or something.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, but then all the people who would chat us would be actually there working. So we'd get nobody in the chat room.
It'd be Thursday night, right?
Except for Jade.
Thursday night, 8:00.
Oh, you mean do it? You mean when the show would actually air live on the ACL network and YouTube? Yeah, no, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm. Do a Thursday night show, and we do it from a national. It's the night before everything kicks off, and we could do a live show and have the live chat going. I think it'd be a blast. And if we wanted, we could even go a step further, right? And we could do it from the floor where the streaming would be, or we could, I don't know if we could go over if David would let us use. It would be kind of tough over there on that floor, even if I don't even know if it would be set up yet. The floor would be set up. I don't know if David and his guys would be completely set up, but I think it'd be fun.
But so what happens if you go live
and everything screws
up? Chat room and
no one's there.
The chat room. Yeah,
someone's always going to be there. There'll always be one or two people. Now, I mean, we've had it on ACL Live before, where usually what happens is the chat gets going, and then the chat forgets you're talking. Right, someone will say something, quasi controversial. You know what I mean? And then they're just arguing. The chat's arguing, right? They're just arguing. Like, we're still talking. We've moved on. We're down the road. They're arguing about whatever that was for like 15 minutes. But I mean, it would be fun.
That's hilarious. I love that.
I think it would be a lot of fun.
So we'd have to tell people, right, that we're going to go live.
Right. We might even have to market it.
Which actually goes into right. Which is pretty much just you and me putting it on Facebook.
Right, exactly.
which actually goes into a topic that I wanted to discuss with you today.
Okay.
So I've been having like serious considerations of going. Well, I think I've pulled back on this a little bit about just going off social media.
I don't think I can for work, but
why?
I think I'm required to from work. I think they want me to know what's going on in the world.
Yeah,
in our cornhole world.
But are we required to?
I think I'm strongly encouraged to, because I've
what do you do with it? What do you do with it?
I find out what people are talking about, and I take that information and I spread it thusly. I mean, I guess I'm thinking of. I'm connected to a great number of people in the cornhole world, and sometimes those people don't share things the way they would in a forum like for ACL pros only, or constructively. So you kind of have to know what people are talking about. Now, am I telling secrets and I'm going to lose half my friends tomorrow because I'm a spy? Maybe, but I mean, if you're out there being a dumbass and saying things you shouldn't say, I see it. I'm going to be like, hey, man, this is what so-and-so's saying out there. Someone may want to talk to him, or her. But I mean, it hasn't happened that often, but it's been once or twice.
Yeah, it's. I'll just be honest with you. I mean, it's exhausting to me. It really is.
Really? What? I mean, what about it? What about it don't you like?
I don't like. It's heavy. It's heavy. It's I don't feel like it's real. I don't know.
Are you talking about the news aspect of social media, or are you talking about just
everything that
human interaction?
Like, yeah, I mean, just everything. Like, and now don't judge me. I mean, there are things that cause you anxiety, and social media.
Well, I'm not judging you. I'm
for curious. Some reason, it does. It makes me anxious. It makes me feel anxious. Like, I don't like it. I would rather have conversations with people. I would rather like if I need to know something about the sport, like it was about, I don't know, 4 months ago, right? When we were debating the whole dirty bag style play versus slide style. And so I just started calling some of the players. I love calling Noah Wooten, having a conversation. I love calling Matt Guy. I loved calling Jamie Graham, whoever. I mean, I love calling and having a conversation.
You're older.
I know. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. I mean, just being that, get off my lawn guy. And
I mean,
I just don't like it. It just exhausts me. I don't know why.
That's so funny because
I would love to know. I
hate talking on the phone.
I would love to know if anyone else out there feels like I do.
I'm sure.
And would be honest about it.
Jeff, I would say a lot of people in our generation feel the way you do, if not most.
Yeah.
I would say that the only reason I ever got on social media was because of work. I wasn't on Facebook in 2007 or 2004 or 2005, whenever it really took off. I wasn't on Instagram when it first came out. I wasn't on any of this stuff when it first came out. I mean, I remember I got my first Facebook account in 2010 for work.
Yeah.
It had been around so long that everyone in our generation had stopped using Facebook. The only one that I say that I truly enjoy would be Twitter, just from a news perspective, because everything's instantaneous. But all the opinion and all the editorial that comes with, but I mean, you have to pick and choose, because obviously, all right, let's go behind the curtain since we're talking about it. The cornhole world tends to be remarkably conservative politically. I don't think that's news to anyone. I don't think that's a news flash. Some of them are very alt-right, way right. I'm friends with them. The way the algorithms work is because if you look at the majority of my friends and what they post, I'm friends with them. Therefore, I'm going to get that information and those advertisements sent to me. I don't want it. I don't want to read that crap, especially when half of it's just made up. I don't want it. But it comes with the territory. So I guess you kind of have to pick and choose, just realize that, man, it's nonsense. Use more than one way to find out news. Use more than one way to get an opinion. If you get stuck in those echo chambers, and that's what they become, right? If all you're looking at and all you're saying and all you're hearing is the exact same thing, then you start to believe, well, this is what's real. Everything else is a lie, right? And I think that's the danger of social media. But I still like Twitter. Yeah, I still do.
And I'm not even. I don't know. Maybe it's more difficult. Maybe I just need to talk to somebody. Maybe I need to sit down on the couch with somebody. Where's Mish when I need her? I guess what I'm saying is I feel the pressure. I don't mind what people post. I mean, they're all entitled to do it. I guess you're right. I mean, with the ACL and with cornhole, it's a bit different. Like with football and basketball, I am fed all the information that I need via email. I get pages and pages. I get more information from teams and leagues than I can even use in a broadcast. It's all handed to me in, via an email. And then on game day, I can talk to the SID. I can talk to the coaches. And you're right. I guess in cornhole, it's different because we don't have that. We don't have a media relations director feeding us, like we have a national coming up. We'll get no information from the league. There'll be no information.
Right.
Everything that we have to get from social media. So I guess it's impossible to escape it. But it's the pressure. It's the pressure too of having to post all the time. And how much do you post? And when do you post? And
do you feel you have to?
Real estate? How much real estate do I post? How much do I not? How much do I post to myself? How much do I post to the show? Why sometimes when we post something, do a lot of people watch it and a lot of people like it? Other times I post something, it's crickets. It's like it's just mentally exhausting to me to have to, I don't know, deal with that. Like I don't know.
Maybe it's because I'm also of your generation and this older generation. I don't, and I know that I should, and I know I'm what I'm doing is incorrect, I just don't weigh it. I just don't put a lot of weight in it. And I know that I should, and I know it's the way of the world, and I know it's the way businesses work. I mean, look, there's people that have quote unquote jobs. Their only job is posting themselves to the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy to me.
I know, and I see that. It makes me sad. I mean, God, and maybe it's just being in the airports too, and just seeing people on their phones all the time, just scrolling, and it's so disappointing. You know, I guess maybe what really made what hit me today was I actually read today, and it was so liberating to just read.
Sure.
To just be in quiet and read. Like, I can't remember the last day. You and I've talked about this before, but I can't remember the last time I did that. Normally it's scrolling, it's liking, you know, it's seeing who else has liked, seeing who's liked your stuff.
Yeah.
You know, oh, they just posted. Do I have to post? I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
I don't think so. I think it's.
I just don't like it. I think
it's our generation. I really do. I think it's our generation because a buddy of mine, like when he talks about Facebook, he's like, in your Facebook. You know what I mean? It's like everything. You're not getting a true representation of who someone is. They're only going to give you the shining parts of who they are. And the people that start to say weird stuff online and on social media and letting you a little too far into their personal life, you kind of start to like, ooh, I don't want to really be around this person because obviously they're a little crazy, right? I mean, like it's weird. It is weird, but you just kind of have to take it with a grain of salt and use it for what it is, I think. I mean, I think that's what I try to do. I don't take anything too serious because I know no one's going to put up, oh, by the way, my son failed Algebra 2 today. He's got to retake it. And so, like, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see the bad stuff that goes on. And I think people feel pressure because all they see is good. I mean, it's kind of a lie, and you kind of have to understand that people are only going to show the shining parts of themselves, right? I don't know. It doesn't. I don't think you're being odd at all. Like I said before, I have a number of friends that if they don't have to be on it for any particular reason work-wise, I think some of them have social media just to keep an eye on their kids.
No, that was me. I definitely did that. Yeah. Like I was on Snapchat. I was on Snapchat when the kids were in middle school. None of my friends were on Snapchat, but I was on because they were on.
Right.
And I just wanted to be able to see what they were at or where they were at, what they were doing.
Sure. And that's it.
Yeah, you're right.
And I've got a buddy of mine, and I know for a fact the only reason he has Instagram, I think he's all Snapchat's another one because his daughter, who's just getting ready to graduate high school, he's keeping an eye on her. And that's literally the only reason he's on there.
Yeah. Here's another thing. Maybe I just keep just one.
Sure.
Maybe just Instagram.
Probably the best one if you were going to choose one. And another thing about it,
I say that though.
Kids are.
And then sorry, my computer might be wonky here for just a second. I'm getting some sort of weird update, but so hopefully no one can see this. It's like some Adobe download thing. Like just go away.
No, I can't see it.
So all right, so with Facebook, like a buddy of mine from high school, his brother's son just became a 4-time state champion in wrestling. His name's Ben Keeter. He won it as a freshman, he won it as a sophomore, won it as a junior, and won it as a senior in high school. So 4-time state champion. Only the second in the state of Iowa to do that, other than Dan Gable, who, if you follow wrestling, you know who Dan Gable is.
Right.
And he's going to play football at Iowa. So, I had no way of getting a hold of Brian just to congratulate him. So I used Facebook. So there is some good. I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe it's a weird topic. Just uncover. I don't
think it's a weird topic.
It really exhausts. Now this is where I would love to have the show being live and have an open chat so that people could say, "Yeah, Jeff, you're an idiot. Just stop talking about."
No. You know what you would see, and I'd be willing to bet my life on this. You would see the people that agree with you would be, I would say, 40 and over, and then you would see, especially 35 and under, be like, "You're out of your mind." They grew up in a world where they had to have it from the time they were a phone or a computer. They had it. And I think you would see a definite, generational gap there. But I mean, I wouldn't mind not having it, but at the same time, I do get to see friends every now and then that live across the country. I do get to, that's kind of how I use it. Now, should I use it more constructively, especially for here? Like, we post something, but do I continuously bang on it, which I probably should considering the numbers? No. And that's on me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Exhausting.
I just don't.
Well, you know what?
It shouldn't be as important as it. You know, we're getting ready to talk to our guest. Our guest is all about it, I bet.
I was gonna say let's bring in our guest because he's just tall, young, handsome, smart. I mean, and I'm sure he's just all into it. So, well, I know he's tall. I know he's handsome because I work with him, and I know he's smart because he's a mechanical engineer. So everything I said is facts.
Right.
And he's a super great guy. But please welcome to BoarderLine again by popular demand because we had to finish part 2 of his story. He is an incredible story of strength and perseverance. I mean, just an incredible guy. Great dad. We've talked about him before. A former ACL pro and former state champion, by the way, in the state of Colorado. Please welcome back my new ESPN broadcast partner for our ACL broadcasts, Anthony Ione. What's up, Anthony?
What's happening?
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
Thanks for keeping me up late again, back-to-back nights. It's going over really well in the house, by the way.
Hey, you got the young part wrong. I'm old.
I thought so.
I don't fall into the young category anymore.
Well, you're younger than me, and you look super young. So I mean, I don't know how much of that conversation that you heard. I mean, does social media, does it ever wear you out at all? I mean, does it ever bother you? Probably not. Nothing bothers you. You're just like Superman.
Yeah, I came in hot out of the work office, but I did catch a little bit of the end, and yeah, so that's what you guys were talking about was
like Jeff is struggling with social media right now.
I really would like to get off it or really kind of limit my use of it. I mean, at the very least, I'm going to limit my use. So I apologize right now. Anyone who's trying to reach out to me. I really haven't even been on it I checked it today for the first time in about 5 or 6 days. I don't know. It just started to like cause me anxiety, Anthony. I just don't like what I see, and I feel like I'm pressured to post, and when do I post, and how much do I post, and you post all the time, and Mish posts all the time. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't like I feel like in my life, anything I need to know, I'm going to find out. I just had a really good friend who I just found out had emergency heart surgery just about a week and a half ago, right? I didn't find that out on social media. I found it out through my friend network. I feel like everything that I need to know, I'm going to find out from my kids, from my family, from friends, from emails, from whatever. And so, I texted him and thank God he's doing good. But I don't know. Sometimes it just does it ever feel overwhelming to you or no?
Yeah, I think you said it. I think you got to limit it. So I'm one of those few people. I think I'm one of the few from what I see where, especially when you're in this game of cornhole, I only have 300 friends. I am not someone out there with 5,000 friends. That's not my goal. My goal is to be really intimate or keep up closely with the people that I follow. So if I open it up to thousands of people, I'm not going to be able to be as intimate specifically with following the cornhole players. You know what it does good for me too is, and I was one of the people that came in, I stopped using Facebook back in, maybe like 14, 15 when it first came out. What brought me back to Facebook was this game. It was cornhole because there's no way you can survive in the game of cornhole without Facebook. But the other value that I find with it is the use of the private groups. So I'm in my family, I'm the one that kind of keeps the family rolling, to keep the family together. And it's a big family. We talk about Uncle Bob, my uncle, he's one of 6 kids. So I'm the next generation under that. There's 50, 60 of us that are tight. I mean, we travel together. We, book, vacation rentals in the mountains together. We'll spend weekends, birthday parties. So I created a private group for the family, maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. And it's been awesome for just us to stay connected. We share photos. When I have a kid's birthday party, boom, the invitation goes into the private event. Only we're seeing it. I see cousins' birthday stuff, their accomplishments. So we're able to stay connected just in the private groups. I have one for my family of 5, or the Ione family of 5. It's me and the wife and the 3 kids. So they can go on there and see every single family movie from the time they were babies to today. I figured out how to convert them. We keep all of our vacation photos and, how Jasmine is doing in college, my oldest one. So I find the group's pretty helpful to just stay connected with the specific group.
So you are making my point for me, because it's causing me anxiety and exhaustion just listening to you. Like, that's a ton of work. Like, do you ever just read? Do you ever turn off?
Hell no. Who reads?
That's what I mean.
Hell no.
And this is where it becomes a generational thing, Bernie, because exactly what you're talking about. Like, that's where I get my enjoyment, in a quiet room, reading the newspaper, reading a book. And with social media, all of a sudden, I just feel like, wait a second, I never get any downtime. I'm always on, whether it's at an event, or it's showing clients a house, or it's doing contracts, or it's doing something with the kids.
Maybe stop having 9 jobs, because you have to be on social media with all 9 of those jobs.
Yeah,
that's going to cause some of the friction.
Well, yeah, I mean, like Bradley Cooper, right? Bradley Cooper is famous for not being on any social media, right? But when you star in 10, award-winning movies like Bradley Cooper, and you have
got Oscars on
millions
your
of
shelf.
dollars,
yeah,
you can do that. I mean, but he's famous for not doing that. He has said that before. Anything that he needs, he can just get through his computer. He zero social media. But I mean, I maybe that's what I felt, Anthony. All of a sudden, I just felt like there was no downtime for my brain whatsoever, because I was if I wasn't doing one of the many other responsibilities that I just listed, I felt like I had to be doing something on social media.
All right, so does this count? I went back and forth. Here's a good example, and this is what a lot of us do. One example today, I went back and forth with Brett Guy today, talking about who his 2 partners were going to be in the upcoming Open. Does that count as reading? Because I do a lot of that.
Look, I'm not a novel reader, but I love magazine articles. I love short stories. I love stuff like, I don't have the attention span to sit down and read, 500-page novel.
No,
I just don't. But give me a short story, give me a really solid article. I'm reading all of that, and I'll read several of them. But I think it, like, to me, Jeff, I don't think your brain's turning off at all when you do that. It's just on in a different way. But it's actually more, when they've done the studies of the human mind and how it operates, your brain's working a lot more reading a book than it is looking at social media. It's just those centers, when you're looking at social media, are wide open. But your imagination, the other parts of your brain, it's not working. It's actually turned off. So I don't know.
I'm different. There is no such thing as downtime.
Yeah.
But I love it that way.
Right.
I'm always, if I'm not doing something, looking for whatever's next. So I have, from the minute I get up to the minute I go to bed, I'm tackling something. There's always something happening.
Yep.
You know why, Anthony? Because if you took the time, if you sat back and took the time, how nervous would that make you feel? If you just sat back, and started to think, you would freak. Exactly. So what you're doing is essentially placating yourself by always going, because, man, what would you start to think about if you actually sat down and thought?
This could be really sad.
Can't do it.
Yeah. To your point, Bernie, this could be really sad. And I just told Kathy this the other day. You know what my favorite times are nowadays? Being on the plane. Because I am totally disconnected. I am totally out of control. I am totally left to my thoughts. I don't listen to, sometimes I listen to music or podcast, but I love it because I'm totally disconnected. And there's nothing I can do. The contract has to wait. The talk has to wait. The preparation has to wait. It's just peaceful for me to be on the plane, in the air, and no one can find me. No one.
I feel you.
So you're not paying for
the. Sad? Is that really sad and pathetic?
So you're not paying for the in-air Wi-Fi?
No. I did having to go out to Arizona because I was doing contracts, and it killed me because normally that was my downtime. Like that was the last moment that I had. But we were up against a deadline. I mean, it happened last minute. Had to get it in, to win the bid. Blah blah blah. I mean, but normally, I just like it because there's nothing I can do about anything. And I
totally feel you. I totally feel you. So my plane is packing up the truck and doing like a 5-7 day elk hunt. So I'm big into hunting as well. When we bury ourselves in the woods.
Yeah.
My brain isn't off though, but it does turn off the other 97 things that I do in a day. And then I'm focused on just that.
Love that.
And then the camaraderie with your boys, there's no phone. It simplifies all of your tasks for the day. You still have things you need to do and accomplishments that you want to do in the day, but it simplifies them all to really just one thing. And it does really, it just calms me. And I absolutely love it, man. I can't get enough of that.
Yeah, that's a great, I love that you can do that. I truly
Colorado,
do.
man.
You're right. And you're right. It's not turning your brain off. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, you're slaughtering living creatures. I mean, your brain's definitely working.
Bernie. Bernie, Jimmy McGuffin needs to come in and rescue me here.
That's good. But yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of weighing on my brain. So I'm glad this is probably a great show to have you on for that, just to give a different perspective.
So have you been waiting all day to do this? Have you been waiting all day to have this conversation? It feels like it, in a way.
Since about 4:30, yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
It's awesome.
No, but it's I don't know. So I'm sorry for anyone who has reached out to me on Facebook and left a message and I haven't gotten back to you. I promise I will. And see, that's the other thing. Like, I don't want people to hit me up on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and I don't reply, and I don't want them to think that I don't care, because I do. I love that people are including me. I love when people tag me or at me or whatever. I just don't have the mental, I don't know.
But you always reply.
Capacity to always be engaged every second of the day. I don't know. It's just exhausting.
Well, I'm glad you gave me the heads up, because I have a post that I'm about to post, and it's all about you. I'm being serious. It's all about you. And if you didn't respond for 3 or 4 days, maybe my feelings would be hurt. No, I'm just kidding.
That's it exactly.
I'm the last guy to have feelings hurt. I get it. I'm not one of those people on social media that get their feelings hurt at all.
I know, because you're a tough son of a bitch and you're awesome.
But Jeff, you always reply. Yeah, I mean, Jeff, I've seen the stuff that you're on, and you're talking to everybody.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I don't. The post is made, and thanks if you like it, but I don't care. Yeah. I mean, like, I've made the post, I put it out there. If you like it, great. If you don't, okay.
But that's my point. That's my point, and we got to move on. But I feel like I have to do it. And I don't want to. I just want to be engaged with people's lives, but I don't want to have to constantly like something or my stuff to be liked.
Have you always been a people pleaser, even when you were young?
Am I a people pleaser? Is that what I am?
It sounds like it.
Yeah, my daughter is. Yeah, she probably got it from me. Poor girl.
I'm gonna take everybody deep today. Everybody's going deep today, whether you want to or not. So be ready, Anthony. We're going deep.
All right. So we got to get to this. All right. So Anthony, we had to bring you back on because we had multiple people who right away said, "Hey, you got to get part 2 with Anthony as soon as you possibly can." So, but before we do that, and before we dive into part 2 of your story, real quick, your thoughts on TV. You and I haven't really had a chance to talk and decompress since our event
we kind of
in Arizona.
We had vodka and tacos till 3 a.m. Remember?
I don't remember that actually.
Nice. I didn't get the invite on that.
Bernie, you were there. Remember, we got back to the Airbnb. We tried to order tacos.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, we got somebody else's order. That's right.
That's right. I went to bed. I'd had enough.
We started crushing the vodka. It was like 2 a.m. and Trey's like, I don't think them tacos are going to show up. So then I can't remember. Maybe it was me and you, Bernie. We started eeating some old pizza or some old
yeah. Just awful. Just like cardboard.
There was like a half-eaten burrito from earlier in the day.
Not only did the tacos show up, but it was like 3 other people's orders. I don't know. There must have been like 60 tacos.
It was still there when we left. We had to empty out that refrigerator. Man, there were so many tacos. I ate so many tacos.
That refrigerator had some kind of smell to it. Oh my God.
Thumbs high.
I opened up next morning just to see if there was something still in there. Right. Oh my God. It was like dead raccoon. I mean, it was just awful.
No doubt.
It was terrible.
Hold on. While we're still here, I'm still pretty bitter about that hot tub not working.
Oh,
we
it
never
didn't work?
Get that thing working. No, we couldn't get the.
We got the power on, but it just wouldn't heat up. There was something wrong with the. Yeah, man, that was a bummer.
By the way, for those listening, like Jade out there, I have no idea what we're talking about, because everything came together so late for the Arizona, and everything was just extremely expensive. Yeah. We had to Airbnb it, so everyone with the ACL and ESPN Tupelo, we all had to stay in Airbnbs together. So I roomed with Trey. Bernie, you were with Mike. Marlon got
in bunk beds, by the way.
In bunk beds, yeah.
Yeah, prima donna up here, sitting there with a nice queen, 2 queens in that room, their own private bathroom. I'm in like this 5.5-foot bunk bed where I got to go across the street to a half bed. It's ridiculous.
Sometimes those are the best times, Bernie. If you embrace
prima donna.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
Stacey Moore didn't need a bedroom. You know, he just wherever he wanted to go, he was
Well,
going.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he gets his own bedroom, knowing that he's never going to make it to that bedroom. It's just going to be on the couch.
And Marlon ended up with an awesome little suite out by the pool.
What was that? Like a boathouse or like
you could tell it was the old pool. Yeah, you could tell it was the old pool like dressing room that they kind of turned in with a little day bed and something like that. They just dressed it up a little bit.
Yeah. All right, we're running out of time already. So, all right, back to TV, and then we'll get to part 2 of Anthony's story. So, real quick, recap on Arizona as far as your TV experience goes. You and I, we've done NBC like USA Cornhole stuff, but this was our first I would say like major ESPN broadcast pro event. For not that the NBC stuff wasn't a big deal, but this was a huge event. So, what were your thoughts? Did you like it? Were you excited? Were you nervous? How did it go for you?
I thought it was badass. I mean, all of us were a part of it. Bernie out there doing his thing. That was fun too, like a new addition. But yeah, I thought it was awesome. I don't know how much you guys have talked about it before, but walking into this like high-end cocktail party, it really made the pros stand out. It was cool because the pros were still in their jerseys. Everyone else was decked out in like custom Jordan shoes and like pimped out suits, and all the ladies looked good, but then the pros really stood out, walking around in their jerseys. The stage, I mean, it was kind of dark in there, but then the stage was lit up. So it really was the center of attention. I thought it was awesome, man. Really wasn't really that nervous. I think this is like I want to say it's like my 7th or 8th time, like you were saying. It was a bigger deal, but I think the more that we work together, it just becomes more comfortable. It just becomes more comfortable. Sure. It should get easier and easier, but man, I had a blast. How
tough is Super Hole for you guys? Seriously, to call that and make it seem normal.
Here's how I describe it. I have attempted to call some intermediate in competitive level matches. Mm-hmm. It's like that. It's really, really hard to commentate those because when you've commentated so many pro and high level events, it's pretty, I shouldn't say easy, but when you go to shot selection and predicting shot selections, there's like one or two options that you should be choosing from. When you get to competitive and intermediate level, a lot of bags on the floor. You never know what they're going to do. Right. It should be going to throw an airmail here. No airmail. Why throw an airmail there? You had 2 bags on the hole to drag with a front load block. Last bag. That's an airmail.
Those bags are there because of a mistake anyway. So like
So yeah, it was hard for me. So I realized like 30 seconds in, I looked over and Trey had kind of gave me a warning. He's like, just be a fan. Like analysis is probably going to go out the window. I looked over to Jeff and he's just talking and having fun. I dropped the pen. I dropped the pencil. I took off the analysis hat and it was just like, all right, let's just have fun with this. So what I was calling, instead of calling an airmail, we're calling Fitzpatrick throwing his hat. It's like, oh, Fitzpatrick throws his hat. Like that became what you talk about because it's just more fun.
Well, the reason I asked, Jeff, the reason I asked is because Anthony, I've done stuff with you on the side. Jeff's got so much stuff with you now on national television as well. Your knowledge is so high, but sometimes you like things to be a certain way. I mean, I know you do. You like things to kind of be mapped out the way you want them to go. And so Super Hole, who knows? Right? Like the most exciting part of that is a guy throwing his hat. Like, where do you go? Like that's all on your feet. There's no planning for that.
So I was literally just calling what I was seeing, like some of the players were trying to distract each other. It's like, okay, we know that's illegal, but you're just having fun with it. It's just like so-and-so is trying to distract his opponent. I mean, I don't know. It was fun. I actually felt it a lot less stressful. Just having some fun with it. But yeah, it's not my favorite because I am there to see high level play. I want to see some amazing shots. Right. And we get so deep into this game. I look forward to a Cheyenne versus Rosie matchup. Who's going to win it? We talk about it for weeks leading up. And then it finally happens. Like, I want to see those matches. I'm a fan just like everybody else. So I'm more excited for those.
Super Hole is an absolute train wreck of broadcast. There's just no other way to describe it. It is.
Yeah.
It's an absolute shit show. Because I mean, there is so much going on. David in the truck is trying to keep everything together. I'm trying to keep it together. You're trying to figure out what the hell to talk about because we have no idea what's going on.
Yep.
The players don't know what's going on. Sometimes they don't know the rules, and it's hard to balance how much we should talk versus how much we let them just kind of take over the stage. And that's kind of what I found, is that because you don't want to miss out on any really great Nat sound, because they give some really great sound bites when they're out there because they're all mic'd up. But that's the problem. You got all 4 of them mic'd up. So between those 4 and you and I and Michelle, not to mention trying to listen to David in our headset about what we're supposed to do and get in and out, it's a mess.
It's a show. I mean, it's we just had the All-Star game this weekend, right? I'm watching the All-Star game with my kid, and I'm like, man, this is rough. Would you call that a shit show where there's no defense? There's 200 points.
Can't watch it anymore.
Bernie hates it.
Cannot watch it. It is an unwatchable product. Awful.
Some people love it.
It doesn't even resemble basketball.
What about, what I didn't see? I didn't see the celebrity game.
That was actually,
it, but I heard it was good.
Yeah, it was actually not bad.
So maybe it's similar, where it's just like, I don't know, it's a show. It's not the game. It's a show.
Yeah.
All right. Now here's the problem. I had so many questions for you about TV broadcasts, because there's some really awesome things that I want to start this year with you. But now we can't do it because I spent so much of our time wasting my idiotic thoughts about social media, and now we only have about 10 minutes left.
You realize people are going to love that about this show. That's going to be what everyone talks about, is the social media aspect of it.
Maybe. Who knows?
It's all you, man.
All right. This show was, maybe we just need to do this show some other time now. I've just totally screwed up this whole thing. The reason we want to have Anthony, and we'll try to do this in the next 10 to 15 minutes, is that Anthony, we have to wrap up your story, because again, on a serious note, I can talk about how social media exhausts me. That's nothing, I mean, compared to what you've been through in your life. So I feel like a complete idiot, soft diva for even complaining about it now. But you back in part 1 of our podcast with you about a month ago, you kind of basically started at the beginning. I mean, you had death to deal with, you had poverty, you had drugs, alcoholism, mental health issues with your brother. We basically got to you as a child, and the issues that your mom had with relationships. And then we got all the way up basically to high school, where you and your mom, I thought one of the great lines of that first podcast was, your mom wasn't your mom. All of a sudden she's your partner. And you guys are trying to figure out a way to survive in this world that has just come crashing down on you, whether it was drugs or cancer or poverty or whatever. Like, you guys dealt with some heavy shit, like about as much as you possibly could. So I guess let's just try and pick it up from your high school days. And you're watching the kids, your mom's having to work, you're having to work, you guys are doing everything you can just to survive. And then all of a sudden, here you are, like you're a mechanical engineer, you went to college, you're on ESPN, you're an athlete. Like, so kind of fill in the gaps for us. So in high school, how did you and your mom survive? How did you get out of that?
Yeah, I would say our story really started to turn positive at the end of my high school. So we kind of talked about all the bad stuff in that first episode, but it really turned for us. I'd say my sophomore, I turned 16, I was able to work. That's really where it started to turn for us. And my mom had gone back to school to get her nursing degree. We had reached a point where I was able to now contribute financially to help get food and pay the bills. And so one piece of that was her going back. Like you said, we were partners, it really was partners. Like, I can pick up some of this slack, you go knock out college. And for us to go to college was like, what? Like, that's just, it was kind of one of those things that was, you take it if it's there, it wasn't given to you. It was just like, hey, there's an opportunity, let's go do it. So from 16 to 18, she knocked out her, my 16 to 18 age, she knocked out nursing school. So from 16 to 18, we kind of upgraded to, we were in really, really bad apartments. I even remember going to some of my friends in the neighborhood. You walk into their apartments, it was like no one lived there. There's a camping chair in the living room. There's a mattress in the back room. Nothing else. Those are the kind of people that we lived around. But yeah, 18 was huge. My mom graduated from nursing school, and you talk about someone that's probably making, $25,000 a year, now almost doubling or tripling her income instantly. So I had been doing really, really well. By the time I hit 18, I think I touched on this one. By the time I turned 18, I started as a bus boy at 16. at a buffet. It was called the Country Buffet. You know, you come in, you pay $12, and people just rip through this buffet. I started there bussing tables. By the time I was 18, we kind of talked about that. I was working at a 5-star 4-diamond tuxedo. I wore a tuxedo. We were one of the few restaurants that actually did tableside service. I would make a Chateaubriand, a Caesar salad from scratch, we called it a Diablo, but it was a dessert, you know, with all the fire and the flames.
Yeah. Check you
serving
out.
really high. Yeah. So worked my way up to that. So when I was 18, I was probably making.
Oh man, he left us hanging.
Oh, he froze. Anthony.
Pretty good.
There he's back. He's like, Ron,
hey.
He froze
Did I freeze?
At the perfect time, actually.
You said, man, I was making like.
And then
Oh, I was just saying, you know, how old am I? So 25 years ago, you know, just waiting tables, I was making over like $50K a year, just waiting tables and going to school. So I was only doing as much as I could. So, mom graduated from nursing school. I was doing really well and was like, hey, what do you think about buying a house together? So we went in together and we bought our first house. So at 18, we bought a house. I basically had my share and then she had her share. The plan is once she was rolling and making enough money, she would buy me out and I would go off and do my own thing. That turned around, man. The first time we bought this house, it was amazing. Just like pulling into a garage was like, we're like crying. You know, I wasn't crying, but the mom was crying. I just had this moment where it was like, this is really weird because we live in apartments. You know, your parking spot might be 2 buildings away around the corner. You know, groceries, when you're carrying groceries from the grocery store.
Yeah.
I mean, you're walking them across complexes to get up multiple stairs. Man, we pull into the driveway and up into the garage the first time. It was like, oh, we made it. And we only had like a $230,000 house. You know, we're like, oh, we made it. You know, we thought we were the shit. But yeah, 18 really turned around for us. So my mom went on, had a successful nursing career, and she actually just retired. I met my wife at 20, and that was about the time when my mom was ready to take over. So we were in that house for a couple years. She bought me out, and then I moved in, and me and my wife bought a house. So I had my second house by the time I was 21. And at the same time, I'm knocking out engineering school. So
did you meet her at school then?
Actually, so one of the restaurants I worked in, we nicknamed her dad the Dom guy. So she's from a different side of the track. So it was really weird. It was like this, you know, Aladdin, you know, and Jasmine kind of thing. I was the riffraff in the street. And, but yeah, so she was actually she was a customer, and her father would come in and he would order Dom, you know, $260 a bottle. And, you know, usually, you know, servicing, you know, have a bunch of people there, big checks. And to me, she was untouchable. You know, she was like, yeah, that's, you know, obviously she caught my eye, but I was like, yeah, that's out of my league, you know? But first day, I actually showed up to engineering school. I was the first day of school, and I see her in the bookstore, and she was going at the same school on the same campus. And I was like, holy shit, that's the Dom guy's daughter. You know, I was like, yeah, screw it. I'm gonna go talk to her. That was it. Talked to her once, and that was it. So 23 years later, 24 years later, we're still together. We actually have our 20th anniversary this year. So yeah, we've got 3 little kiddos, and the engineering career kicked off really good, and I just kept excelling at that. Yeah. So what got me into cornhole was actually when I was like, 22, 23, we had our first kid. And I was a basketball player, blew out my back, had 2 back surgeries, screws, all kinds of hardware back there. And I thought how
did you do that? What'd you do to your back?
Playing basketball. I ruptured multiple discs down at the in the lower part of the vertebrae.
Like on a
L4,
rebound,
L5,
or somebody
S1.
hit you? Somebody hit you from behind? What happened?
It was really weird. Like it wasn't, and I was just playing basketball, and all of a sudden my right leg shut down. It was one of those things where they thought that, you know, I had a previous injury, and it just finally went. So it was actually good timing because the kids started to roll in, the career was going. I really didn't have a lot of like time to put into basketball and all these other things. And I just became a home guy. I actually became I taught myself everything there is to know about, like contract work, flipping homes, electrical, plumbing, exterior. I mean, I for 20 years, I did a lot of this side stuff because my wife was an interior designer. So we would make little side hustle money because it was tight when the kids were there. So I'd go in and I'd flip spaces, floors, wall accents, you name it, flip bathrooms. So I did that for 20 years until I found cornhole. So
Bernie, who is this guy?
Yeah. So when I found cornhole in 2017, I basically kind of started to turn off all of the like flipping of spaces and making money there. And then that was it, guys. Just like anybody else. The first time you pick up a bag in 2017, I just couldn't get enough. Became the Colorado State champ in 2019, went pro in 2020. And then here we are, Jeff. We're messing around on all three of us. Now we're all messing around on ESPN. It's insane. It's insane how it played out.
All right, we've only got like 4 minutes left, and again, it's my fault. All right. So is your mom still alive?
Yes. Yeah, mom's still alive. She's actually 7 minutes up the road, just retired, and she is awesome right now because she's to the point where she's like, I got all this free time. And I'm like, I don't have free time. So she's like, I got the kids, when we go to Arizona. Hey, mom, I'm going to be gone for 3 days. Got them. No worries. So it's coming in. It's really coming into play. And she's hanging out with the kids quite a bit. So me and the wife.
What about your brother and sister? Was it 2 sisters? I can't remember. Were you raising 3? Your brother and 2 sisters?
Yeah, I didn't want to be more depressing, Jeff. There's a lot of other crap in there, but my brother did commit suicide 5 years ago now already. So yeah, we lost him 5 years ago. He was the one that he was diagnosed with the mental disorder. We talked about the first episode, struggled with that his whole life, finally got the better of him. He actually committed suicide 5 years ago. And then the sister that we adopted, 2 daughters, married. Actually, my best friend, she married my best friend's brother. So in some way, we're kind of still connected by friendships. So she went on to have a successful. She got through the leukemia and got into remission, and then went on to have 2 kids of her own. So that was a good story as well.
How old was your brother?
29. I want to say 29, 30, right in there. Yeah, 29, 30.
So quite a bit younger than you then.
Yes. Yeah. Quite a bit. That's how it kind of played out. I was much older than the other ones. That's why I was kind of the one that my mom leaned on. I was 10 years older than my sister, 8 years older than my brother. And I was kind of the one that she leaned on we just had to do it. You just had to partner up to get through it. And
you're almost like a surrogate parent. Yeah. You're a surrogate parent that way anyway. I think most studies say if you're beyond 5 years, it's really not even a brother-sister relationship at that point. It's more like an uncle. You really become more of a surrogate parent once you get beyond
it sucks.
A certain year.
There's definitely some downsides to it, Bernie. You never want to, as a parent, you never want to be on a partnership level with your kids, because it just really jacks with the relationships that way. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're still a parent, but so in some way, if your kid's helping to pay rent, you lose some leverage. You lose the ability to
get in your ass a little bit.
You can't get in my ass. I just paid the rent. So it was a weird. Luckily, she didn't have to deal with that with me too much. But yeah.
Mom, I'm staying out. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not the way to go. It's not the way to do it.
Well, that's an amazing story, Anthony. I'm glad we were able to kind of wrap it up. Sorry we had to do it so quickly, but I mean, I'm just sitting here shaking my head because Bernie, how many people have you ever met where the son puts the mom through college?
Not a lot. That would have to be the one that I do know. I was lucky. I came from a pretty privileged background, had my own issues, but never had to worry about, the monetary side of things.
Yeah. My parents
until recently.
Yeah, I was fortunate. I mean, the gig helped a lot. I mean, I paid cash semester to get myself through college. But if I hadn't worked that job was really big for me. It was at night. I was able to go to school in the day, and I was paying cash semester by semester. So it all worked out. However, it worked out best for me and my mom. And we look back on it now, and it's like those days are behind us. We're looking ahead. We're not dwelling on the past.
Real quick, sorry, we got 10 seconds left, literally. So just real quick, do you ever have bad days? Do you always keep a positive mindset?
Oh no, I have bad days too, but I stay pretty positive. I don't stay low long. Half a day. Even if me and the wife get in a fight or something like that, half a day we're moving on. That's life's too short. I don't dwell on that stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely love that. Hey, Anthony, sorry, we got to run, but thank you so much, especially for making time. I know you had to work today, but I can't wait to see you again. Great job on the broadcast, and thanks again for coming on with us, bud.
Thanks for having me, guys.
See you, brother.
Appreciate it.
All right, Anthony Ione, what a great role model. All right, we got to roll. We are out of time, and too late as it is. Went fast. All right, we'll see you next week.
All right, buddy.
All right, bye, everybody.